So this video is going to help you with catching up with some circles if you had some problems and maybe see some things that you didn't understand before. So first of all, let's just go through a couple of parts. Okay, so we have the radius of the circle. That's the distance from the center to the outside. We have the diameter of the circle. The radius is half of the diameter. The diameter is 2 radii across the circle. Circumference is the outside of the circle, also called perimeter when you talk about the outside. And the area is if you shade in the whole circle. Those are important vocabulary words. We have formulas. We have two formulas for the circumference. Okay, the only difference in the formula is there's a 2r here instead of a d. That's because the diameter is 2 times the radius. Area has its own special formula. And then the thing I always say is that you always want to find the radius, no matter what you're doing. If you find the radius, you can find the circumference or the area. And you can use those formulas. Okay, so here's the examples on your page. So let's see what we got. They tell you we have a radius of 5. So I can answer this question. Radius is 5, which means the diameter is 10. I found the radius, so I can fill in these last two. I always like to write the formula, so go ahead and write your formula down. And then you just need to plug in the numbers. So circumference is 2 times pi times 5, which is 10 pi. And use 3.14 for pi, multiply that out, 31.4. So for the second one, pi times the radius squared. Well, that means 5 times 5. It's not 10, it's 25. So 25 times pi. And there's a video link on there if you want to open it. But 25 times 3.14. All these are video links. So 25 times 3.14, and you get your decimal value. I'm going to let you do that on your own calculator. So let's go to the second one. What do we know this time? We know the diameter is 12. So thinking about what you know, the key is find the radius. If you find the radius, you can find anything else. So the radius, remember the radius is halfway across the circle and the diameter is all the way. So the radius is 6. Makes the circumference easy. 2 times pi times 6, which is 12 times pi. Again, I'm going to let you put in 3.14 and find out that answer. There is another formula for circumference. It's pi times diameter. Well, the diameter is 12, but I would stick with just using 1. It always works. Again, if you know the radius, you can find the area. Area equals pi times the radius squared. 6 squared is 36. So 3.14 times 36. Those are the two kind of basic questions. Go to the next slide. So this one is a little bit more advanced. They give you the circumference this time. So this time we know the answer to circumference. So the key is we need to find the radius. So if you find a formula for circumference that has the radius, write it down. Well, we know the circumference in this case. So 28.26 equals 2 times 3.14 times r. So if we want to find the radius, we take 28.26 divided by 2 times 3.14, which is 6.28. So if you take 28.26 divided by 6.28. 28.26 divided by 6.28. You get a radius of 4.5. So once you know the radius, you know the diameter, because the diameter is double the radius. And then you can plug in the area. Area equals pi times the radius squared. So pi times 4.5 times 4.5. 4.5 times 4.5 times 3.14. 63.585. And you can read the question and see how they want you to round it. In this case, we're just going to leave it like that because there's no other extra directions. So if you don't know the radius, and then you go to your formula. If you notice, we divided here. If you look back at the original formula, I have a little shortcut there for circumferences, but that most tests are not going to give you that formula. You have to know how to do that yourself. Okay, so these problems are just giving you a picture instead of words. So in this picture, when they write the number right there, that's the diameter. That means the diameter is 18 and the radius is 9. If they want you to see the radius, they would write it right there, but that's right in the middle. And then we can still do our same thing. There's our radius. We're going to use it here. We're going to use it here. 2 times pi times 9, which is 18 times 3.14. And you can use a calculator to find that answer. 56.52. And the area, pi times radius squared. So pi times 9 squared, which is 81 times pi. 254.34. So again, find the radius and you can find both circumference and area. This is where you need to know your definitions. 12.56 is the circumference. So we can use that to get back to the radius. If you know the radius, you know the diameter. If you know the diameter, you can find the area. So circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. So we just plug in, always write down the formula, plug in what you know. So again, I'm going to be dividing by 2 times 3.14 to find the radius, which is 6.28. 12.56 divided by 6.28. It's 2. So the radius is 2. Means the diameter is 4. And the area, pi times radius squared. So 4 times pi. If you're getting a decimal value, 4 times 3.14. This is the one case where the radius and the circumference, or the area and the circumference, are the same thing. That's it. There are video links on each of those pages.